What was it about the stop that made you want to intervene in the first place?
Yeah, great question. So just to kind of set the scene of when this happened, it was like a beautiful sunny evening, and there were children of all ages kind of playing around there was a basketball court. It was in this kind of community garden area. And I was actually tutoring an A-level philosophy student at the time, sitting at a picnic bench. Then police run on to kind of out of the blue, really, run on to into the area from several sides. I later heard one of them describe it as a pincer movement. He was very kind of excited and liked to talk in quite military terms. He was like, he also described himself as being like RoboCop, and called himself the sheriff. This was a sergeant in charge of the stop and search operation. But they ran on from several sides, and they ignored me and my student, who's also white. They just kind of went past us, and then kind of disappeared behind this community garden. I went over a few minutes later when I heard sounds of distress coming from around there, and I saw that they were actually they were trying to search two young people, and I thought, I was aware of the kind of perennial problems of racist stop and search. I know from their statements later that the reason why they suspected these young people, they'd written it down in their statements, IC3 males, so they mean young black people, boys walking, and they said they were walking away from us. So it was really a case of walking while black. I didn't know what they were going to write in their statements at the time, but I saw enough to be concerned. And one of these young people was obviously very scared and distressed, and he was asking for his mum to be present. He said, "You can search me, I just want my mum to be here." And so the first thing that I did was ask the officers, why can't his mum be here? He's saying that she's just around the corner, but they just completely ignored me on that. It was I was considering filming but I wouldn't have been able to film the police without also filming this young person, and I was really concerned about doing that without their consent, and they wouldn't know what my intentions were, and I thought it's really important for him to know that there's somebody who cares about him, who cares about his rights and his welfare, and so that was when I realized that I had, actually really quite by chance, this Know Your Rights card that I had tucked in my phone case from ages before, and so I asked him if he wanted that. It had the number of some solicitors that you can trust, and kind of advice on arrest, because it's a very big problem that the duty solicitors that people get at police stations are very often really quite cozy with the police. They don't give high quality legal advice, and people are kind of tricked into interviews that end up being very harmful for them later on, without access to proper legal advice. So the card also gives advice on kind of saying no comment until you've had proper legal advice, and I think those things are really important. So yeah, that was why I offered it to him, and he wanted it, and that's why I tried to hand it over.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that really puts things into context, actually, especially with what you were saying about, him just asking for his mum to be there, and you setting the whole scene, because I think sometimes the way that things are portrayed in the media or by the police, there's not really room for feeling sorry for the person that was getting stopped. There's this narrative and this negative stereotype about young black boys. So as soon as they know that's the person that's been stopped, I think all sort of, feeling sorry for or sympathy kind of goes away, because they must have been doing something to deserve it. So I feel like, you being there and being able to see the full picture is really helpful as well in explaining that sometimes it just literally is not the case. But thank you for that. Nice.